And I'm going to say welcome to the call. If you guys can mute yourselves, that's awesome because um, I'm not sure how to do that yet. Okay. And I'm super excited. So I'm going to share my screen and get this slideshow up for you guys to check out. Gosh, it's crazy that it's not even dark yet right now. Kind of blows my mind. Okay, guys. So I was thinking, and like, there's lots of things that I want to obviously share with you guys, but talking about kind of the fears I know I had, and even like would come and go in waves. I thought would be maybe maybe somebody could relate to that, and maybe they could see how that evolved for me, because I was a pretty big scaredy cat. So I'm a good example of all the possible fears or hesitations you could have with coaching, or even like sharing your story with anybody else. So my biggest fears with coaching. So where I started, I know a lot of you guys know this, but I didn't look like a health and fitness coach when I started. Mom of two, Christopher, my husband works shift, so he's gone for close to 14 hours with his commute. He works 12-hour shifts. And I was like in the peak of my real estate career because I had been doing it for 5 years leading up to that. So I had built up my name. People were getting to know me, that kind of thing. So I was working a lot, and I don't work for a big office. So like I do all my own work, all my own offers, all my own paperwork, my own, you know, I everything. So I was really tired. I was really stressed. I was eating, I was eating crap. There's no better way to say it. Like a lot of junk food. I would sit down finally, sometimes, not till 10:30 at night, and I would just feel like I deserved to have, you know, junky food because I had survived the day. I wasn't doing any exercise at all. Like maybe walking for like 10 minutes a day with my kids or my dogs. And I was just really bitter. Like I was frustrated with myself. I didn't have any energy to play with the kids, and I wasn't seeing them a lot. So that made me more frustrated because the time I was having with them wasn't quality time. So I had no idea where to start, or what to do. I just felt stuck. I know I had like scrolled Pinterest, and I thought maybe I can find some kind of workout on there that I can do. I knew I couldn't go to a gym. I knew I wasn't going to group fitness classes or anything like that because that just wasn't my thing. And I had, a lot of weight to lose and wasn't feeling comfortable. That just wasn't something that I wanted to do. So I was stuck. But I say a brave mom saved me. So one day, I was probably in a low point, and I just happened to see a post from another busy mom. She had a work from home business, and she also worked full time, I think, in like something to do with like government services. And she just shared her story on Facebook. So she just did her before and after. She had done PIO, and she was already
Yeah.
in great shape, but I could see the visible difference in her. And I
Oh,
thought,
okay. Sorry.
that's okay. Who's not muted? Is it you, Steph? Or Jill? Sorry, Jill. Thank you. Sorry, I can't mute anybody. Oh, wait, yes, I can. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, sorry. So I messaged her, and I trusted her because I knew her. She was a real person. It wasn't just like an ad I saw on Facebook or whatever. And I decided to join a challenge group, and I feel like this is the real cold notes of it, but my life changed. But when I struggle with, sharing a before and after, or talking about the stuff that has changed in my life, I always go back to remembering how grateful I am that she actually put herself out there and that she actually shared her story. Because if she hadn't, I don't know what I would have done, because I didn't know what to do, right? Like I just didn't know what to do. And I would have still been in that cycle of no energy, no exercise, bad food, angry, that kind of thing. So I have always been a worrier. I was always called a worrier, a worrywart. I didn't realize that was anxiety until later on in life. And I still like I never realized like I knew it affected my life, but I didn't realize like it's very common in people. But yeah, when I was in this challenge group with the coach that I signed up with, she asked me to think about coaching, and I, right away was like, oh my gosh, no, like no, 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 and I had a gazillion reasons why it wasn't a good idea. Um, and I weighed the pros and cons. I'm sure I actually did a pros and cons list because that's just my kind of thing. Um, but I had some really good reasons to actually give it a try, even though I was really scared. And I thought of, like I said, of all these reasons that I shouldn't do it. And the first thing I thought was, what would other people think if I decided I was going to do this? Um, would the people that are watching me do this, would even family and friends, would they talk behind my back? Would they unfriend me from, social media? Would they judge me? Would people think I was just trying to sell something? Would they get sick of me, seeing me post and share about things? Um, would they, would they just think that what I was doing was silly? And, you know, how would that reaction come from that? And I was really just scared about what other people thought about me and thought about what I was doing. Um, but this is what actually happened. So when I shared my first transformation, I wanted to throw up. It was obviously stressful and I was nervous to share because I kept looking at that before picture and thinking, oh, I don't want anyone to see that. I don't want them to see, how bad it was or how unhappy I felt and how unhealthy I looked. But I went for it and I shared it and I had this like crazy outpouring of support. Um, and it was very, very empowering. It was very motivating. Um, and I actually ended up, reconnecting with a whole bunch of people that I hadn't talked to in ages. So even though we're so connected by social media, maybe people we went to high school with, or people that live in different countries, and people that we wouldn't normally have got to talk to. Now, because of social media, obviously we have this connection with them, but I think we're still really disconnected. So this actually rekindled a lot of relationships for me. I started to reconnect with people I hadn't seen in a long time. So like teammates from when I played competitive fastball, and classmates from high school, and just people I'd met throughout my life that had actually been people that I really, really liked, but I just had fallen out of touch with them for whatever reason. Um, and they became, challengers and fellow coaches, and we just started these crazy friendships that have really been great in my life. I also began new friendships with other coaches, so coaches from my own team above me, and then coaches that have joined me, just busy women that are on their own health and fitness journey that make you feel like you're not alone in what you're doing. And because of all of that, I became more motivated to succeed and continue on. It was literally the ultimate accountability. I have said this and I pretty much say it every month. If I had not decided to become a coach, I'm pretty sure that I would have quit on this. I don't think I would have had that in me on my own to keep going. So yeah. So this is another big worry I had. I'm a private person. I'm an introvert, which is hard to believe sometimes, I think. But I rarely used my Facebook before coaching. And I was very, very private about my kids and our family. So that was a big concern of mine was I knew some people, what they shared and that kind of thing, anybody and everybody could see it. And all I could think of was like ex-boyfriends and like Christopher's um, ex girlfriend that I didn't like from university, and like just people that like I was like everybody's gonna see all my stuff, and then I was like, I just didn't want people that didn't know my kids and stuff to see my kids, and I didn't want everything public because I think like obviously there's scary things out there and you hear about cyber crimes and that kind of thing, and I love that kind of stuff. So that was the first thing I thought of with that. But here's what actually happened. So I took a lot of time to actually learn how Facebook and social media privacy settings work. And I know we have a lot of teachers on our team and that kind of thing too. And I know that privacy is really important for that particular occupation, as well as like there's other, more sensitive things like police officers, that kind of stuff. Um, so I learned how it all worked. So I knew what I was sharing and which things I was okay with people seeing. I created public albums that really just have to do with coaching and my own fitness journey that I don't really care if everybody sees. Now, I didn't necessarily feel that way at the beginning, but I started to just, be really careful about how my photo albums worked and that kind of thing. I went through my past photos and I just put stuff in. I either made the album completely private just to me. For example, like I had pictures of just my kids. I made those just private because I didn't want everybody else to see them. And I know we get a lot of people tell you need to make your profile public, so everything gets seen. That's not true. You can definitely go through every single post. It's a little bit extra clicking, but it's totally worth it in my opinion, to make sure that what you're sharing is what you want to be sharing. Um, and then, yeah, I just started to, kind of blog my journey, add value to people's days. So recipes, maybe funny stories, struggles that I had, how I'm dealing with them. And then I also made a business page to keep separate from my profile. So I treat that a little bit differently, but I do a lot of cross posting as well. But eventually I'll move into that page probably fully. I'm actually using that page right now to market to the UK because we go there in the fall. So I'm attracting people from the UK on there right now, which I never would have that capability just from my profile. So I share what I want to share because when you own your own business, you can do that. So this was a big thing too. I had a lot of balls up in the air. At the time when I started coaching, my youngest was 2, my oldest was just turning 5. And like I said, my husband works shift work, full time in real estate, and business was crazy, long, odd hours. And I was already really stressed and anxious with what I had to do in a day. So I didn't want anything else piled on. I was really, really worried about, just if I'm going to do something, I like to put my heart into it. And I didn't want to feel like I wasn't putting my heart into any of those aspects, including coaching. But this is what actually happened. So I started working in like pockets of time. So when I was super busy, like I would just, if I was at a quiet open house, I would, work on some posts that I wanted to talk about later. If I wanted to listen to personal development, so old national wake up calls that were specific to Beachbody, or I wanted to read a book just about, feeling better on the inside and that kind of stuff. I did that in my car with my Bluetooth. I listened to a lot of podcasts, that kind of thing. And then I worked on coaching when my kids were in bed or before they got up, on lunch breaks, that kind of thing. So I really just took the time out of my day that I had really been wasting. It's kind of like when you start to work out and you're like, oh, I don't have 30 minutes to work out. Then you realize, wait a minute, I definitely spend 30 minutes, more than 30 minutes doing nothing in a day at some point. So I just found these pockets that maybe I would have sat on the couch and watched TV or scrolled Pinterest, and I took those and I just put them into, like I said, thinking about my posts, answering challengers, sending out messages to people, that kind of thing. So it actually worked out really well because I became much more effective with how I spent my time. And I was not, wasting time in my day. And then it also gave me a creative outlet for photography, for writing, and for communicating. So I always have loved writing. And writing up offers in real estate is not the same as like coming up with telling your story, or a funny story, or sharing something with somebody, taking pictures of different things. Even I love taking pictures of food now, which is kind of weird. I never thought that would happen. But yeah, it just gave me a creative outlet. So it was really quite fun. I still enjoy it a lot. Okay, so this is another thing. I don't fit the part. Whatever I had, oh, I froze. I don't know if I froze. There we go. I don't fit the part. So I had this idea in my head about what a health and fitness coach needed to look like, or should look like. And I guess I was thinking like I needed to look like, I don't know, a aerobics instructor or something. I'm not sure. But I realize now that obviously coaches come in all shapes and sizes, and that's the good thing. But I was only a couple of months into my journey. So I had maybe lost like 7 pounds. I still had a really long way to go. No fitness nutrition background at all. I wasn't an expert, and that made me nervous because I didn't want to seem like I was coming across as an expert, like thinking that I knew everything and I was going to tell people this and that. And then I was scared that no one would take me seriously because, I like to be legitimate. I like to make sure that I know what I'm talking about, that kind of thing. Like I said, I didn't look the part, so I wasn't super fit. I wasn't even super healthy at that point. I was just learning as I went. So how on earth could I actually inspire someone else if that was what was going on with me? So this is what actually happened. Working on myself while I was actually sharing my story and coaching other people, or talking to them about what I was doing, inspired them so much. Like we were doing it together. We are still doing it together, which is amazing. I was going through the same kinds of struggles that other people were, working long hours and still having to squeeze in a workout, wanting to eat all the chocolate at night and, um, you know, drinking my Shakeology instead, or wanting to have a pop and having an IC instead. Like I understood, or getting on the scale and it not going down as much as I thought it was going to go down. So I could really like help people and talk to them about, there is hope on the other side of this. Like we can do this together. So I got extra support and accountability, and I think I was more relatable to people. So this is another one too. I don't want to be a salesperson. So, like I said before, being in real estate, some people love when you're in something, but other people are like, ew, yuck. And that was the beginning of really like a lot of multi-level marketing stuff and direct sales stuff being on Facebook and that kind of thing. So you'd wake up and you'd get added to these groups of products you don't even know. Like I'm in lipstick groups and stuff. I don't even wear lipstick. I don't know why I'm in that group. But people would add me to these groups, and I'm like, I don't want to do that to other people. I didn't want it to seem like I was pushing products, or, I didn't want to be annoying. And I was already in sales. So I didn't want them to be like, oh, look at her. Like she wants to sell houses and she wants to sell workout programs. Again, worrying about what other people thought about me. But being in sales is hard. So that was another thing that I didn't need more of in my life. But what actually happened? So I, being a researcher, background history degree, but I researched the company. I just, I found out more about their products. So obviously I really liked the products that I had used. I had limited knowledge about Shakeology at the time. I really wanted to make sure that I knew, more about it because I was consuming it. And if I was going to tell other people, like obviously I wanted to tell them what my experience was, but I also wanted to be able to give them like a little bit of information with it. So things like the fact that it's got non-GMO ingredients and there's no artificial sweeteners, no soy in it, became really important that I knew about that. I also, got to know their customer service better and the whole, like what was involved in the coaching opportunity. So how it worked, how the commission breakdown worked, how genealogy worked, how volume worked. I started to learn about that because I really wanted to know what was going on. And then I just used my own experiences with their, their products. Like I said, I told them, I didn't say, Shakeology has 70 superfood ingredients. I just said, look, ever since I've been drinking Shakeology, I don't feel like I need 3 Diet Cokes and 7 chocolate bars in a day. And I feel like I have more energy and my digestion is working better. And I just said, this is what I have found. And then my customer service. So, Beachbody's gone through some highs and lows with their customer service as they've, tried to onboard this whole Beachbody on Demand thing, which is huge. And there's like over 1 million users now. They've really upped their customer service. So I've experienced their customer service, and I try to, give feedback when they send me the surveys and stuff, so how they can improve it. And then I actually went out and I experienced Beachbody events and stuff because I wanted to see what it felt like. to actually go to these things. So I went to my first summit last year in Nashville, which I never, ever, ever thought I would do. I was in this to just be a hobby coach, and I never thought I would go check that out. But the allure of meeting these women that I had, been on this journey with, and of working out with super trainers and that kind of thing, I was like, no, like I want to give this a try. And it was a life like changing experience, and I'm so excited for the next one. And then the next one after that, I hope we have even more people with us. But yeah, and Super Saturdays, that was something that, wasn't much of a commitment, but I could go to Toronto. We made it a family night once, the first time, I think. No, actually, the first time was our Emerald retreat, but, we've gone down for a few Super Saturdays to Toronto, just see other Beachbody coaches, work out with super trainers again, have your picture taken, that kind of stuff. Just learn about new products that are coming out. And then the Success Club trip that we went on in April was awesome. It was really, really nice to see how Beachbody throws a party, how they celebrate their coaches. It didn't matter if you were like an Emerald coach that paid for most of your Success Club trip yourself, or if you were like a 15-star diamond coach at the Success Club trip. Everybody got treated really, really well, and it was just a really good experience. So here's what I lost when I decided that I was going to go kind of all in with coaching. I lost a lot of my anxiety because I just kept putting myself in these uncomfortable situations. And the more I did that, the more empowered I felt. Obviously, I lost a lot of inches in weight, but I also lost this sense that, I really struggled with this, that I needed to have my whole life and existence revolve around my kids. My kids are still my whole world. I want to be careful how I word this, but I used to think that I couldn't have anything that was just for me, that I wasn't being a good mom if I did that. And that didn't make for a happy me, because you can't be on your game all the time, and you can't not have something for yourself. So it really just taught me that, I can still be a good mom. In fact, I can be a better mom if I can just take some time for myself and do something I love or I have a passion about. Yeah, and I lost a lot of negativity. So mostly I would say from being around some really incredible women. So how we all have our bad days, or we wake up and we're just miserable, but we go into those challenge groups and it's like you can't help but feel better. Like people are there, they've got your back, they know your struggles. And then obviously thanks to personal development. So reading things like You Are a Badass and listening to podcasts and just, filling my cup spiritually and with good mental wellness has been big too. What I gained. So I'm in, I think, the best shape of my life. Maybe I was in better shape when I played like university fastball, but I was like 20 at that time. Other than that, in the rest of my 20s, I'm in way better shape now at 32, turning 33 than I ever was. I'm stronger. I'm learning how to eat properly. I've learned how to eat properly for the first time in my life, I would say. I just didn't have a good relationship with food. I just thought, actually, I didn't have any consciousness about food. I just ate what I wanted to eat, and I liked how junky stuff tasted, and I didn't really think about how it made me feel or how it affected my energy or my digestion, that kind of thing. And I found some confidence that is really nice to have. And then, I've learned that this isn't just external. You start by maybe losing weight and losing inches, and then something happens on the inside, and you start realizing, okay, why did I gain this weight or these inches? Or why did I get into this unhealthy habit of not exercising my body? Or, why was I turning to food? And you start to realize that there's more to this than just what's going on the inside. And then you end up, figuring some stuff out with your mind and your heart. And I think that's really good. And then now, I've got women that it still blows my mind, but women that have been inspired by me and are changing their lives too. Like almost every day I get an incredible message or a thank you, or just even like a post in the group sharing what they have changed or what they feel better about or what they're proud of, throwing clothes away or, feeling sexy again or whatever. and it, it makes me feel like I can't even put it into words, but I just have so much gratitude towards the people that are sharing this with me. They're saying they feel more alive again, or they have confidence, or they're starting to love themselves again. And that's all just because I shared my story and asked if they wanted to do that too. So it's pretty powerful. And like I said, I feel really, really thankful that I did, for probably one of the first times in my life, not give in to fear or the unknown. I'm not sure if I froze. Tara, can you still hear me? Can you give me a thumbs up? I can see you. I'm frozen. Nope, just wasn't moving. Okay, I think that's all I have for slides. Oh, nope, sorry. Oh, one more. What else I gained? So on top of all of the challengers, and, all the happy feels inside of me, yes, this is huge. So like I said, I rekindled a bunch of friendships with people that I hadn't seen for a long time. And then I have a whole new set of friends that I never would know if it wasn't for coaching. Like, just off of who I can see on this call right now, Jill, Megan, Tara, like I would not even know you. And that's crazy to me, because I feel like we all know each other so well now. And you're just a big part of, my life, and kind of helping me through what it's hard. Like it's hard to be on a health and fitness journey and still be like living a life. Like whether you're a mom or you're a full-time career woman or whatever, like it's really hard to do. So having that support network, with everything on my plate is really awesome. And then obviously a bunch of experiences I never would have had. So celebrity trainer workouts, and going to Nashville, and going to Punta Cana, and soon to be New Orleans. Like I would not have ever done that. I wouldn't have left. Coaching has had me leave my kids for the first time ever, for an overnight trip to London to do like an Emerald retreat, or a year and a half ago, I think was the first time I ever left them. And then after that, I actually went away for 3 nights to Nashville for Summit, and that was like I never ever would have done that. And then my husband and I going away for our 10th anniversary, using the Success Club trip to celebrate that, would never have happened either. So it's pretty cool. So just coach, compassionate, original, active, courageous, healthy. There we go. Stop share, and try to stop share. Hopefully my computer doesn't freeze. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to end the recording.